What's up and welcome back, everybody. On today's episode, it's all about the new Crocodilian Park and catching a Nile crocodile that we just got in. Now, this facility that I'm about to show you guys is the brand new 5 acres me and my business partner Patrick have been working on for probably the past 5-6 months. Now, right here, you can see this is our perimeter fence. We have telephone poles all the way around. This is our gate we welded ourselves. That's our nuisance alligator holding container. Then our first 3 croc pits are right over there. I'm about to show you guys. But this right here has been a long time in the making, is this Crocodilian facility. Now, we're far from done, but we are approved. So we're able to have gators here. We're able to have crocodiles and all kinds of crazy stuff. All right, y'all, welcome to Locks Crocs. Let's just open up these perimeter fence gates. Ooh, doggy, look at this place. Now we have a few small things to do. We got to chop off the tops of our poles around for our perimeter fence. We have to finish our enclosures. We first got our Nile crocodile enclosure done, which is the crocodile we'll be moving in here today. It's about a 6-foot long Nile crocodile I got from a good friend, Jeremy. So we just laid down this sod. It doesn't look too good, but after we water this with a little bit of water, give it a few weeks, and this is going to be a nice, beautiful, luscious enclosure. Now, walking into this enclosure, we have our door we built. Now, everything you guys see here, me and my business partner Patrick built by ourselves with a little bit of help with some of our friends, but we didn't pay anyone to come help us. We really did this all with the help of our friends and just me and Patrick. So now walking in, you guys can see we actually have a sheep pile pond. Now, the water is a little bit dirty just because it's been sitting for about a month, but once we get some fresh water trickling in here constantly, this guy is going to clear up. But as you can see, we have the sheep pile in the ground. This is driven in about 8 to 9 feet into the ground, just like Crocodile Kyle's setup. Now, let me tell you what, it's the most expensive, it's the hardest to do, but it is the best when it comes to Nile crocodiles. Nile crocodiles are notoriously known for digging and digging through their pond. So what this is going to do, it's actually going to hold in the dirt from all the sides, and it's going to prevent that Nile crocodile from digging out of this enclosure. Now, you guys might say, hey, what happens if he just tries to dig out of here? Well, these panels actually go all the way down 2 to 3 feet underneath the earth's surface. So this guy, he can't dig out from over here. He can't dig out from the pond. And today we're going to be chopping the top off of these, and we're going to be adding a lip. Now, in the state of Florida, your enclosure has to be 5 to 6 feet tall. This right here is actually 5 feet tall. It's going to be a little bit taller than that after we add the lip. And what that's going to do is it's going to prevent him from climbing up, because he's basically going to hit his nose on the lip and act as a nice drink holder for me and the boys. So this right here is our first crocodile pit. I think it's 20 by 20 if I'm correct. It's absolutely massive, way big enough for a crocodile 6 feet long. So this is our first pit. Now, this next enclosure is actually going to be a temporary holding enclosure for our bull alligators. Now, when you catch a giant alligator in this Florida heat, they're really stressed and they tend to throw up sometimes. So instead of keeping them taped up in our holding container, what we're going to do is come over here. If we got a gator over 10 feet long, we're going to untape them and let them go inside this natural pond. Now, as you guys can see, these natural ponds actually stay a lot more clear if you're not running water towards it. So what we got right here is a nice, beautiful natural pond, probably 15 feet long, a massive natural pond. Now, we're in wide angle lens, so it doesn't look that big, but this pond, trust me, is really big. And as you guys can see, we haven't finished this, but our fence is buried underneath the ground. So we basically got to come backfill this, finish the front, and a gate in this enclosure will be all nice and set up. And last but not least is our second natural pond over here. Now, this, we really don't know what we're going to put in it yet. It's basically going to be a free open enclosure if we do buy any crocodilians. Now, it's very important to build the enclosure before you buy the animal. So we're always going to have 1 to 3 enclosures that are already built in case we go ahead and get a pair of animals, whether it's a broad-snouted caiman, more Nile crocodiles, whatever it may be. We always want to have an extra pit ready. But as you can see, this hole is a little bit smaller than that one. So the species of animal we're going to put in here will be a much smaller species. We'll probably put a pair of some rare kind of crocodilian in here. Whew. How crazy is this, guys? Months and months of hard work. Now, I want to give a huge shout out to my business partner, Patrick, and good friend. Now, Patrick basically made all of this possible. Us working together made all of this you see here possible. If me and Patrick didn't join forces and team up, we wouldn't have any of this right now. So me and Patrick have been working our butts off to get this place ready. And ahead of me will be our next pit. As you guys can see, this is our perimeter fence, and this is the next pond we're about to fence off. We're basically gonna come from this pole right here, run a perimeter fence down there, and basically create a big square. So we'll have a perimeter fence on one side of the telephone poles, and we'll have chain link on the other. Now this right here will actually be our breeding pond. Now I don't want to tell you guys just yet what we're going to put in here, but if you guys have any idea of what kind of crocodilian we're going to put in here, go ahead, comment down below. Let's see if any of you guys can guess it right. But I'll tell you right now, we're not going to put one crocodilian in here. We're not going to put two. We're putting 4 breeder crocodilians inside this pond. It has all this coverage, all this debris that falls down. Now what that's going to do, it's going to provide shade for these crocodilians and nesting material. So I already know once we put these crocodilians in this pond, they're basically going to hang up around the edges. They're going to bask on this nice beautiful beach right here. We'll probably bring in a little bit more fill, make it a nice sandy beach. And then the females, which we're getting 3 in 1 male, but the females will probably nest somewhere up in the clusias with the droppings of all these trees. Now it's very, very important in Florida to give a lot of shade for your crocodilians. So we're probably going to be putting palms and banana trees in those enclosures. In this enclosure, when it's done, we'll have plenty of shade. We won't need to bring in any more plants because we have so much clusias. These clusias are literally 30, 40 feet tall. Some of the biggest clusias I've ever seen in my life. And then if you guys look over there, that's our well. So we're going to run water from that well. And we're going to have overflow pipes that come into all these enclosures. So if we want to overflow it or keep a constant flow, we're just going to push water into all those enclosures. Now, last but not least, let's check out our alligator holding area. All right, guys. Now, this right here was one of the hardest things to build. Now, those of you who know me know I'm an alligator trapper. And when we catch these alligators, we need somewhere to put them. So me and my business partner, Patrick, we actually built this elevated deck off the ground. So we have that 1,100-gallon tub in there with this built-up deck. Now, this right here is going to be the lip for the other enclosure. We have stairs coming up, and then this is elevated. That way, when other trappers bring us alligators, they just back on up, and it makes it easier for these alligator trappers to drop off gators. All right, guys, into the alligator holding area we go. Now, this right here is a super, super spacious, I forget what it is. It's like 25 feet by another 20 feet, a just massive area. Now, if you guys are like, hey, why is it wood? Well, this is really only a holding container. These animals aren't going to live in here. They're just going to be in here for about a week. Now, we actually just did our first load of gators, so this pool is empty, but you would be surprised how many bull alligators fit inside this tub. Now, in here is where we're keeping my Nile Crocodile. We picked her up yesterday, but we want to make sure we get her penned done. So she's sitting in here in this enclosure, and you guys later in the video are going to get to see us catch this animal and put her in that pit over there. But as you can see, we have this certain percentage shade cloth, so these alligators have nice shade. We planted some clusia plants back here because the sun rises over here and sets over there in the west. So what's going to happen is when the sun is setting, these animals won't have sun on them because these clusias hopefully will block that sun. If you didn't know, when you catch an alligator in the state of Florida, if it's over 4 feet long, it cannot go back into the wild. This is 8 feet tall. This is the thick horse panel. This is one of the strongest panels you could possibly buy. Now we have 4x4x12s all the way around this enclosure, and this puppy isn't going anywhere. Now, it's been a lot of hard work, a lot of sweat, a lot of blood, a little bit of tears, but we're finally getting closer to having this place done. Well, we are approved, so we already have animals here. We have that croc. We've had a bunch of gators. We just did our first load up north. We got machines to get all this stuff done. Right now, we have tons of footage of me and Patrick working, so let's go ahead and do a quick montage of me and Patrick working throughout the months, starting now. All right, y'all, the construction on the new Croc Park has officially begun. It's coming along. Be nice. That was that montage, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see, we have a little space from our enclosures to the property line. Now that's because in Florida, you need to have a 35-foot buffer zone from here to the property line. So we have 35 foot that way, and we have 35 foot from the fence to our property line over there. Now this property is 5 acres. This right here is literally only 0.25 acres. So we have a ton of area to expand, and we're going to be fencing off that pond. So it's going to be awesome. You guys are going to have a real treat. You guys are going to have the chance to follow us along through all of these builds, through all of these captures and transports of all these crocodilians. You guys are going to love it. Now take a good look at this place now, because in a couple months, a couple years, this place will be amazing. Mark my words. So we have Happy, Robert, Alex, Blake, and Patrick on their way right now. So we're basically going to unload this pallet, finish this enclosure, finish the lip. Then we're going to go catch that Nile crocodile. And at the end of this video, we're going to move that beautiful bad boy in here into his forever home. And before I get started, let me get a little bit of that Florida State juice, baby. You know what I'm saying? Public sweet tea. Yeah. Let me tell you something. If you're not from Florida, you don't know hot. You don't know hot, boy. Trust me. It's not even sunny out right now, and I am just dripping sweat. Now, there's a reason I got this hat on my head. Not to look cool, because it's hot. All right, guys. Now the time has come. We got my good friends Alex, Blake behind the camera, and my good buddy Patrick as well. So if you come over here, you'll see my brand new Nile crocodile. I actually bought this crocodile a couple of weeks ago. Big shout out to my buddy David Weathers for holding onto this crocodile for me. But if you look, this is a big Nile crocodile. Well, for Nile crocodiles, he's actually not that big, but he's about 6-7 feet long. We can kind of take guesses on how long he is. We'll sex him, we'll measure him, take some data, and then into his new home he goes. Alex just asked a really good question. He was like, how old is this animal? So typically alligators and crocodiles, they'll grow a foot a year all the way until about 5 or 6 years old. Then their growth rate is going to slow down. So they could either grow 4, 5, 6 inches a year, or they could grow 1 to 2 inches. It all depends on their enclosure size and how much you feed them. Look at her. See how she has those bright yellow eyes? That's how you can tell it's an East African Nile crocodile. So the pure bloodline Niles will have bright yellow eyes. She's like an immaculate Nile crocodile. She's got no nubs, no scratches, no scars, no nothing. She's absolutely beautiful. And now that she's been in this black pool for about a day, she's really dark, but as soon as we get her in that sunlight, she's gonna brighten up. So let's take some guesses. How long do you think she is?
I'm 6'3".
6'3"?
6'9", LeBron James.
Hard. I'm gonna say 6'2". I think she's a little smaller. I'm gonna say 6'2". So we got 6'2", 6'3", 6'9". Winner gets a gator taco at Papi Chulo's.
Hell yeah.
Don't really just want to yank her up and drop her on the deck, so we're just gonna drain this water. I'm gonna step in there. I'm gonna grab her, and then we're all just gonna walk her over. And another thing about crocodiles, which is different than alligators, is dermal pressure receptors. So an alligator has those dots all over his jaws. And what that does is it picks up pressure in the water. So if a gator's underneath the water and you're just stepping around him, he can pick up the vibrations underwater from the dots on his jaws. A crocodile has those dots on each and every scoot on his body. So that's the difference. Crocodiles have a much higher sense of where you are at all times. That's why you never want to go in the water with crocodiles. You always want to go in, well, you never want to go in the water with gators, but you really don't want to go in the water with a crocodile. Alex, go ahead and get that turd out of there.
Now, see what you do with turds like this is how you figure out if the animal's healthy. Yep, it's healthy. So you can tell because it's poop.
Also the taste.
I don't really.
This is like putting blinders on a horse. It calms it down. See?
See how calm she is now? I think I just got pink eye.
Right there? Perfect. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go right behind her head. Alright. She's going to roll.
Let her roll or no?
Don't. We'll grab her arm. Alright, on 3, we're going to lift her out. 1, 2, 3. You want to keep the croc close to your body, just like that. Patrick, you want to go ahead and grab that shirt? Perfect. So when you keep the animal close to your body, it doesn't really give them any play to move around. Like turd water. Oh, yeah. Cool, because before she even moves, you can feel her just tense up.
It is crazy.
You know?
It's like a spring, like a ballistic knife. It's a lot easier to be confident holding the tail and her mouth tape, you know?
Yeah, right? Catching her wasn't this easy. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're just gonna bring her down on 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll measure her and sex her first.
Yeah.
So right now, guys, the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna keep this around her head. That way she's nice and calm.
Stretch her out a little bit more.
Wiggle her tail, there you go. So we're gonna measure her here at the tip. At the tip over here.
69.
69.
Oh, that's not 6'9".
She's 5 foot 9 inches, so I beat you guys.
Darn it.
No one was really close, actually. She's a lot shorter than we
water,
thought. Yeah. The next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and sex this animal. Now, how you do that is you take your finger, put it in the cloaca. If something pokes you back, it's a male. If nothing pokes you back, it's a female. Alex, I'll let you do the honors.
Yes.
So just lift it up and just right in there. If it's
Pinky?
a male, yep, you can do pinky. She's small enough.
Now, I bought her dinner. And by her, I mean her, because I'm way in there. I don't feel nothing.
No, nothing? Here, I'll double check too.
No, I don't smell anything. I mean, feel anything.
Oh yeah, it's 100% a female, which is cool. We got a nice breeder
Very cool,
female,
bro.
so
Very cool.
we'll work on getting a male as well. So we got a female that is 5 foot 9 inches long. We'll write that down, and hopefully the next time we catch her, she's 7 foot. The next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and take the tape off. We don't wanna mess with her. We don't wanna scrub her down. We don't wanna do anything that's gonna cause more stress than we already caused this animal.
Ready?
Ready.
Coming off.
All right, look at that. So when you're handling crocodilians, especially crocodiles, one thing you want to do, a gator, you would have your hands more up towards the snout, towards the nose. Crocodiles, you only want to have your hands back here because of those sharp teeth at the end. So if someone has that shirt, we're going to go ahead and throw the shirt back on her head. We'll come off, and then she'll enjoy her new pit.
Gator wrestling champion, by the way.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Woo! Man, oh man. I'm just not realizing I stuck my finger after touching gator poop, so I might be getting dysentery.
So guys, whether you're on Alex's channel or my channel and you have a good name for this crocodile, go ahead, comment down below a good name for this female croc.
Let us know.
And she'll go ahead and have it.
Cool.
Woo! Woo! Hear the sound of those jaws? That's anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 pounds per square inch. Now this is a small guy, probably closer to 1,000, but still not an animal you want to get bit by. Another thing Blake was saying, he's like, oh, she's so fast. The thing about crocodiles is they literally have an extra vertebrae in their neck. So gators can go side to side and up. Crocodiles can go up and back. They can kind of twist around more because they have that extra vertebrae. So you can see her blowing bubbles down there. She's not happy, she's tired, we're tired, so what we want to do right now is just leave her alone and let her enjoy this new pit. Get to building that lip. Thank you for the help, boys.
Of course,
I appreciate it.
Of course, thanks for having us. It's always a blast.
Oh yeah.
Seeing the progress and being a part of it. There she is right there.
Yeah, she looks tiny in this little pit, right?
She does look tiny, bro.
We need like 5 more.
Dude.
Crocodile Kyle, send me a couple.
Dang, bro. And the way she, boom, 2 inches below the water, gone.
Gone.
Belly flop contest?
I dare you. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of today's video. If you guys enjoyed today's video, if you enjoyed seeing the new Crocodilian facility, don't forget, hit the post bell notification symbol. That way you can get updates on future videos, and like, comment, and the most important part, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.